Hello and welcome everyone. This is episode 2 of Internet Inspiration. Let's get right into it. So we're going to have a look for our previous painting. And today we're painting, actually I really like this one today. We're painting the ancient city of Asus. Let's get in on the second one. So this is obviously kind of a PC board that looks a lot like an ancient city, and the dust covering has definitely given it a good light in that kind of area, because it makes it look a lot like it's covered in sand. I like that we're kind of peeking over the hill. Really makes the kind of board look like it's got some scale. So right now I'm just kind of laying in the very basic gist of it. You can see I just started with almost pretty much 2 colours. I've now expanded that to a couple. I've got a colour for the tops of things, a colour for the sides, a colour for the sides of things, and a colour for kind of the areas of occlusion, or the left sides of a lot of things. So I'm just kind of going through with that 1, 2, 3 read and getting everything in. Also got a few of the darker colours in preparation for some of those kind of vents that are showing up in some of the areas. Really not caring about accuracy or how close mine is to the original, but trying to get at least a hint of a lot of the features that are in there. That way we can pick up a likeness without making our artwork just basically a painting of what we're basing our inspiration off of. Now we can finally see that out of the soup of colours almost dashed in at random, kind of image and the form is starting to take shape. Now what I'm doing is just starting to have a look at what extra bits of interest and detail we can add into the features. And also at this point we've come into some of the first kind of conflicts with contrast. I mean, our main focus area really for me is going to be maybe somewhere around there. That's kind of where the focal area is going to be and where the main contrast is. So all of this foreground kind of needs to more guide the eye in, which I'm trying to do with a few of these kind of selected line shapes going around the edges. And that'll kind of focus the eye into that main focal point where some of the more interesting shapes are. You can see with contrast you can just really mess it up, especially with the values. Like I've completely gone with the wrong set of colours and values for this little front bit, and it's kind of time for me to finally admit it to myself now. But this front mounting, well, you could see before it's just a very strange dark, a bit too red, muddy colour, but mainly the values. It's these little bits of grass especially are just much too dark. You just got to kind of try out different things and see what works, kind of throw mud at the wall and see what sticks, especially when you're kind of doing something like this, but at least we have always got the original to kind of compare to and step back onto. But differentiating the foreground from the background without making them blend together or seem too different and contrasting is definitely something that I always find a little bit difficult. So you can see that quite a bit's changed now. We've added our man on his camel. I just thought that would work a bit better for the foreground. I've tried to create some camel steps leading up into the background. I've added a little bit of like saturation in the focal point. You know, this strong yellow. It's really not found anywhere else across the picture. So I thought that would really help guide people's eyes to our main focus, which is that that big Colosseum in the centre and the CPU socket. I don't know what that is yet. Some kind of weird place of worship. And the rest is still quite low detail. So those main two centerpieces are what I'm going to put the most detail into going forwards, but the rest will be probably caught up to the level that they are now. So we're going to keep going and keep kind of working on this, adding as much detail as we can, keeping our focal points in mind, maybe get those footsteps from the camel better, and just really get it to a more finished position. So there you go, I'm going to call that done. Quite happy with the way it resulted. Very, very rough and kind of sloppy brushwork, which well, it's my favourite kind of brushwork to do. If I was to completely finish this and make this full piece with the textures and everything, it would be a lot more work. But for this series, we just kind of like to get to this level and try out all the experimentation and such. It's really the boring part. It's 80% of the work, really getting all the details and such in. So at the very last minute, I spent like 5 minutes putting in a little main feature to add a bit more interest into it, because I thought it was getting a bit more like a boring landscape. So I added kind of like an energy beam in the middle, coming out of that CPU socket with some lighting on the other features coming off it, but not too much because it's quite bright already. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in episode 3 next time. Thank you for watching.